What if the idea that we need to grow or expand or evolve or be the best versions of ourselves is actually what's stopping us from creating what we love? I think that it is. And this is why I am holding by the New Year, Say Me philosophy for this year and for every year into the future. You might think, okay, well, good luck with that, Loretta. You're never going to grow. You're never going to expand. Your life is effectively never going to get better. Well, first of all, I actually have quite a great life. So, there are parts that could do with some work, make no mistake. But I think the point that I'm trying to make is that this idea that we have to grow and expand, it's called the personal development movement. In other words, we need to develop. It was called the personal growth movement before that. So we need to grow. This way of thinking essentially is saying that certain circumstances need to be in place, or we need to meet certain criteria before we can create what we love. And I think that's a lot of bollocks, because I know that when we give our power away to external circumstances, that's power that we don't have to create what we love. So I know that we are the way we are. We are complete human beings, right? We don't need to evolve. We don't need to expand. We don't need to improve. We're complete human beings. And I would suggest that if we spend more time on developing a true knowing of who we are, truly knowing who we are, not who we think we are, not our personalities. We're so much more than just our personalities. And in fact, our personalities are based on stuff we've made up. So when we're born between the ages of 0 and 3, we have to develop a map of the world. We have to develop an idea of how this world works. And that's our filter of reality. And the very foundation of that are our limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm invisible, I don't belong. And our egos and rational minds convince us that once we have fixed that, then we are actually worthy, and then we can create what we love. But the truth is that those limiting beliefs, they result in coping mechanisms in order for us to stay alive and to deal with the pain of believing this about ourselves, and to try and avoid having other people reject us because of this. And those coping strategies, when they're validated, so for example, being good or being kind can be a coping strategy, or being a high achiever can be a coping strategy, or being uniquely quirky and like not fitting in, that can be a coping strategy. Those coping strategies, they lead to our personality traits, such as kindness, for example. So if you've got I'm unworthy as one of your limiting beliefs, then very often you compensate for that by being a good person. Now, you can be a good person without that limiting belief, right? But in other words, your identity becomes wrapped up in being a good person. And when you believe that being a good person is always being there for everyone else, or putting everyone else's needs before your own, then you're going to end up being a good person who gets burnt out by the demands of other people. And maybe a good person who gets sick because they don't take care of themselves because they're so busy taking care of everyone else. And then you identify with whatever that part of goodness, like kind, okay? You identify with kind, and you start thinking that kind is who you are. Well, kind is a personality trait that you have learned gets you more acceptance than rejection, and you believe keeps you safe. All of this is unconscious, by the way. It's not happening in your conscious mind. And so are you really the personality that you think you are? Well, yes, you are your personality, but if you understand how it developed, you can also realize that you are everything. You can be everything. You can be anyone. You have access to all the traits of all humans. And when you realize that your personality is a function of these unconscious beliefs that you've developed over time, then, we can actually even argue that some of your personality traits could be habits. So one of mine is never give up. It's a habit that I have, I pride myself, or I used to, on not giving up, on not being a quitter. And so as a consequence of that, I kept myself in situations that didn't serve me, or that I just hated, or I wasn't happy with, for so much longer than what I needed to. Well, because I felt like I couldn't quit. Because if I quitted, then I'd be a quitter. But I actually identify more with being a never give upper. And the truth is, I can be a quitter and a never give upper, and it doesn't mean anything about me. Different circumstances call for me to be different in different times. So when you realize that your personality is actually just a construct of your imagination, truly, then you know that you can be anything you need to be. So when you need to say no because someone is asking something of you that doesn't serve you and that you actually can't deliver on, then you can say no without feeling like you're a horrible person. Okay, so I'm digressing a little bit. So that's the first thing, is that we don't really know ourselves. So, okay, What does that look like? Well, firstly, it looks like getting to know what is the unconscious part of who we are. The unconscious part is the part that's actually creating your reality, because by default, your focus is on whatever's going on in your unconscious. Your unconscious is like the bottom part of the iceberg. It's the bulk of the iceberg. The part you can see is the small part. The real part of the iceberg, the biggest part of the iceberg, is happening underneath the water. And the foundation of our unconscious is essentially these limiting beliefs, and the coping strategies that develop as a consequence of them, and the personality traits that we think we have and that we can't get rid of and we can't change or we can't be different to. And when you know that, you know a lot about yourself, and you have a lot of self-awareness, and you can break the habits of behavior that you have that don't serve you any longer because you want to create something different, for example. The second part of yourself, well, there's more than two parts, but the second sort of subcategory is your superconscious. It's the part of you that's limitless. It's the part of you that's not bound by your thoughts and your emotions and your past. It's the part of you that's connected to all things throughout time and space, your consciousness, as it were, or your spirit, if you want to look at it that way. And your spirit is life itself longing to express itself through you. So you are expressing your spirit or life through your physical vehicle of your body. And this part of you is not limited by your thoughts and your emotions. In fact, it's got nothing to do with your thoughts and your emotions, and communicates to you through your intuition. And this is the part where what you love to create resides. And so very often when I am speaking to someone for the first time and I say to them, well, what is it that you really, really want? Like, what would you love? And they're like, well, I don't really know. And part of why we don't know is because we have never really been encouraged to connect to our spirit. So we can connect to what it is that we love, because that's where what we love resides. And this is not like, who we love necessarily. It's like, what would we love to express in the world? What quality, what trait? Maybe it's joy. Maybe it is compassion. Maybe it is just to revel in the deliciousness of life itself. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be some grand, noble purpose. But most of us have never connected to that part of ourselves. Most of us don't know what we would really love. Most of us set goals based on what we think we should have and what's going to make us happy. And so once again, we put the power in that thing. When I'm thin, then I'll be happy. When I have this much money, then I'll be happy. When I'm in a relationship, then I'll be happy. When I've had so many children, then I'll be happy. And there's nothing wrong with any of those goals, but those are limited constructs of your ego, and very often associated with what you believe is possible for you. The problem is that your unconscious limiting belief, the one that lies at the base of all of that, is that you are actually worth nothing and that you don't deserve anything. So when you know what's going on in your unconscious, when you understand how your unconscious and how your traumas and suppressed emotions have driven your behavior and your choices and therefore helped you create the life that you have, then you know a lot about yourself. When you know this about yourself, you stop being able to recognize this in other people, and you can have compassion for it rather than just judging it. So your family, your relationship dynamics can also improve. When you know how to connect to your limitless spirit, then you can connect to what you'd love. And then you can connect to what you'd love to create in the world. Whether that is a wonderful family unit, whether that's a beautiful home, whether that's an amazing career, it doesn't matter what it is, okay? Money, beauty, it doesn't matter. When you know what that is, then you can actually not just set a goal, an ego-related goal, but you can make a spirit-led choice. And when you've learned how to align with your spirit, you can you can reliably start accessing and hearing and listening to your intuition. And once you can tune into your intuition is like your inner GPS. And there was a clip by Sadhguru once. He said he's a GPS, guru positioning system, that a guru is someone who shows the way, is the light shower. It brings the light to show the way. So you have an inner guru positioning system inside you. That's that wise inner part of you that's not limited by your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, your past, your trauma. It is the part of you that is unlimited. It's the part of you that's eternal, that can connect to all things throughout space and time. And this part of you communicates to you through your intuition. And so if you know how you can access your inner GPS, then you don't ever need to rely on external circumstances to dictate what you need to do or how you need to live your life. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to become rebellious and, an anarchist. Not at all. It just means that you are going to take the power, the creative power that you have, because we are all powerful creators, and you can use that power to create what you love, regardless of how evolved you are. You don't have to spend all this time, energy, effort, money trying to fix yourself. You could rather spend this energy trying to know yourself, not trying to, just getting to know yourself, getting to understand the different parts of you and how to access them and how to integrate them. And you can become a more integrated version of you. And when you do that, you start really expressing life through you more freely. And when you do that, you thrive. So if you would like to know how you can do this, I have a program that can help you do that. I've developed this really short, it's 4 sessions. It's not going to change your life in 4 sessions, but what it is going to do is it's going to give you a clear structure on how you can really get to know what's going on in your unconscious. How do you uncover your limiting beliefs? What are they? How do you notice your coping strategies, right? How do you start seeing through the illusion of who you think you are, all right? To find out that you are everything. Because here's the thing, you're not going to find anything hectic, guys. You are already everything, all right? Okay, so there's that. How to connect to your spirit so that you can know what it is that you'd love, what your spirit would long to express through you. What is your vision for your health? What's your vision for your money? What's your vision for your relationship? We don't have time to do all of those in this short program, but we can pick one, whichever one you want to work on the most, okay? Whichever one you want to connect to the most. So how do you connect to your spirit? And then how to actually use the structure, a structure that you can use repeatedly to access your intuition so that you can design your life your way. Whether you want to create vibrant health for yourself, or whether you want to create a wonderful partner bond, or whether you want to create a beautiful family, or whether you want to create a career and to give a service to the world that is going to make a difference to yourself and to people and to your business, whatever that is, you can use this tool all the way through. So it's 4 sessions. It runs over 4 weeks, and I'm throwing in a freebie, a special offer. If you are specifically wanting to work on your health, then I will do a holistic health assessment as a free session for you. And if you would rather have a tool that helps you get to know yourself better in terms of your instinctive behavioral DNA, this is your life map. Many of you have done this with me already. Then I will do a free life map for you. And that will set you up to having new year, new insight and awareness of myself and new creations in the world. So if you would like to know more, then click the link in the comments or click the link below this video, and it will take you to an information page that gives you all the information, and sign up. It's an individual program. It's one-on-one. You can start it whenever you want, okay? So it runs over 4 weeks, whenever it is that you want to start, and I have space in my schedule. I really look forward to showing you the most amazing parts of yourself and to introducing you to these wonderful tools that help you to get to know yourself and have an awareness of yourself and create the life that you would love so that you can go from surviving to thriving.